UFC 322 goes down in just a couple of days, and I'm here to give you my pick for every single fight on the card. We're going to start with the first fight of the night, work our way up all the way to the main event, and once we've done that, I'll go ahead and rank my picks on a confidence level from least to most confident as the number one pick. But before we get into the picks, please remember, picks and bets are very different. If you want my bets, make sure you join the Homify Picks Premium membership. There's a link down in the description below. You can use code HeyJive to get you a 5-day free trial and get all the bets for this Saturday's card. Let's hop into the fights. First fight of the night, we got Camilo taking on Vyacheslav Borshchev. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit under the weather, so bear with me. I'm battling this, but we got a big card this Saturday, so you know I got to be here giving you the picks and all the content. Camilo is going to be the pick here. All right, he's the much younger guy. He's the better grappler. As long as he doesn't gas out, I think he's fine. I also think he's probably the more durable guy, which, you know, I don't think Camilo is like the most durable guy, but I think Borshchev is a bit chinny, but he has good recoverability is what I'm kind of trying to say. On the ground, I think Camilo should be able to latch up some type of submission. But on the feet, I also think he could crack Borshchev. If Borshchev can get into a flow to where Camilo starts to fade, then he could take over. But I'm just going to take the younger guy here with Camilo to get it done. Let's move on. Eric McConico and Beisinger Susurkaev. This one's going to be Susurkaev. He's minus 1,000, pretty much where I expected him to be. He should be able to get a finish in round one. Eric McConico, not very durable. Not really a good fighter, definitely not young. So he's kind of one of these old journeymen that the UFC brought in, and they got to give him some fights, and they're going to use him to build up this young talent that they have in Susurkaev. So Susurkaev's the pick. Not much of an explanation needed there. Fatima Kline taking on Angela Hill. I'm going to take Fatima Kline here, another big favorite, but I think Fatima Kline should be able to get this one done pretty much anywhere it goes. You know, I thought maybe if Fatima Kline couldn't get her takedowns in this one, then it could be competitive. But honestly, I think she can outstrike Angela Hill as well. Watching the tape, Angela Hill is 40 years of age. Seems like her reactions are kind of slowing down. Seems like her ability to push a pace and out cardio some of these younger girls that she's facing is kind of gone now. I'm not saying that she's going to get blown out of the water by Fatima Kline by any means. You know, Angela Hill could probably keep it competitive, but I think Fatima Kline's going to be able to outstrike her, maybe mix in some wrestling as well, and I think she'll get it done. Give me Fatima Kline. Chepe Mariscal taking on Pat Sabatini. Now, this is a rematch, which I didn't even think of that when I recorded the early picks video, but I do remember it because I remember Chepe, when he came into the UFC, he had all these guys that are in the UFC now. He had wins over a bunch of these guys. He had wins over Yusuf Salal. He had wins over Pat Sabatini. He had fought other really good competition as well on the regional scene. Brito, Garcia, Bryce Mitchell, a ton of UFC guys. So I remember that he fought Pat Sabatini. I just didn't put two and two together. But in this one, you know, Chepe won the first fight by a split decision, I think it was. And when you watch that fight, it's kind of just back and forth grappling type of stuff. And I honestly think this one could play out similarly, but I also think that Chepe could find the KO on Pat Sabatini because Sabatini's chin is dust, man. It is not good. And if he's not able to control you on the ground, it's just a ticking time bomb before somebody touches that chin and this guy goes out. Now, I'm not saying Pat Sabatini can't get some grappling going here, but from what I've seen from Chepe, this dude's a motherfucker to hold down. You're not going to hold this guy down. He's just one of these guys that doesn't fuck off. He doesn't settle on position. He's always going to be trying to do damage as well. If this fight does go 15 minutes, I think Chepe's probably the guy that lands more damage throughout it. So I got to go Chepe here as the underdog. He's been training at Syndicate MMA as well. See a bunch of pictures of him with Marab at Syndicate in Las Vegas. So I like that for him going up against another grappler here in Pat Sabatini. So give me Chepe to get this one done. Gerald Meerschaert, Kyle Daukas. Kyle Daukas, I believe, the third biggest favorite on the card, and I am going to take him. He should be the better striker here against GM3, and I don't think he's going to get out grappled by GM3. I mean, Kyle Daukas has actually kind of improved his striking. I thought it was decent, man. I thought it was decent. His last few fights, he's kind of timing stuff right. He's throwing with good technique, finding good shots. And if he does that against GM3, he could knock him out. And also on the ground, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Gerald Meerschaert gets subbed on the ground. This isn't a fight where Kyle Daukas is going to be scared if this fight goes to the mat. Or if Gerald is pulling guard, Kyle Daukas isn't going to be scared to go down to the ground with him. So give me Daukas here. I think he gets it done. Daukas is not a guy that I have ever been high on, but I do think his skill set matches up pretty well with Gerald Meerschaert at this point in his career, so it could be Daukas. Cody Haddon taking on Malcolm Wellmaker. I've gone back and forth on this one because Cody Haddon, I think, is a really good fighter. And Wellmaker, there's kind of some unknowns, but also you could make some inferences about it. And there's some regional tape that you could look at. I don't think his cardio is going to be bad, even though he's had 3 straight round 1 knockouts. I think his cardio is going to be okay. I think his initial takedown defense is pretty good. I think his initial grappling is pretty good. I just don't know what it's going to look like if it's pushed over and over and over again. So there are some concerns with Malcolm Wellmaker. And Cody Haddon is dangerous on the feet himself. He's got some pop in his shots. He also has some pretty good grappling as well. But the thing with this matchup is, and it's going to be with most of Malcolm Wellmaker's matchups, is that this dude has the nuclear option. He has the one-shot knock you out type of power. The torque that he gets on his body, insane. The timing that he has on these shots, insane. He's kind of like a Sean O'Malley type of striker where if he sees that one shot that he can land, he has the ability to snipe it, and that could be it. It's not as much volume as Sean O'Malley. It's not as much twitch, but he's looking for that one shot that he could put you out with. And I'm not saying he's going to get it here, but I'm saying in this matchup, there's one guy that can end the fight with one shot. It's Malcolm Wellmaker. So I'm going to take Malcolm Wellmaker for the pick here to get it done. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Haddon gets some takedowns, gets the grappling going, gets him into a rhythm of just putting him through hell on the mat, and wins the fight. But I'm going to take Malcolm Wellmaker to get this one done. And hopefully he does get a knockout because it'll be fun. Tracy Cortez taking on Aaron Blanchfield. I initially was kind of leaning towards Cortez as an underdog here, but the problem is, I don't really think Cortez is going to be able to avoid the ground. I just don't really see it. I think Tracy's offensive wrestling is decent. Her defensive wrestling is kind of lackluster, honestly. I was expecting more when I went back to watch some film, but she was getting taken down a good amount. And I think if you get taken down by Aaron Blanchfield here, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And on the feet, it's not like it's going to be some wide gap to where Tracy Cortez is going to just be the much better striker than Aaron Blanchfield. Aaron can strike. It's just not very sharp, but it is effective, and she does push a pace. Also, the clinch work could be decent for Aaron Blanchfield here. So I'm going to go with Aaron Blanchfield to get this one done. I also just think she takes her career more seriously, honestly. So it's not to say Tracy doesn't work hard. I would much rather invest in an Aaron Blanchfield as an MMA fighter than Tracy Cortez as an MMA fighter. So give me Aaron Blanchfield for this one to get her revenge from the first fight when she lost by split decision at, 19 years of age in that first fight? Now she's 24, 25. So, yeah, I'll give me Aaron Blanchfield for this one. Roman Kopylov taking on Gregory RoboCop Rodrigues. I'm going to go RoboCop here. Kind of just a bad matchup, I feel like, for Kopylov. Now, it's not the worst matchup. I think Kopylov could win it if he's able to stick to the outside, pop some jabs out there, keep him at the end of his range. But he doesn't want to be in the pocket with RoboCop. RoboCop wants to put the pressure on you, get you into these big exchanges, and just enforce his will with his power, with his physicality. I also think RoboCop can get takedowns here. I think he could grapple Kopylov, and Kopylov doesn't like to grapple. He hates to grapple, and he gets tired when he does grapple. So if there's a game plan here that I would bring to Gregory RoboCop, it's to look for the grappling early. Take this guy down, wear him out, and it should be an easy win. But is he going to take that? I can't really say he's going to. So that's the problem with RoboCop. In a lot of matchups, he likes to go out there and bang, and sometimes he's very good at going out there and banging. But sometimes he gets banged himself. So that's the concerns with RoboCop, but I do think he should win. Give me RoboCop for the pick. Rodolfo Vieira taking on Bo Nickal. Now, this one's interesting because I'm just not even I'm not sold at all on Bo Nickal. I wasn't really sold on him before the RDR fight, and then I got so many different people just talking about Bo's gonna get it done. Bo's gonna get it done. UFC wants him to win. Bo's gonna get it done. RDR sucks. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna take Bo, but. And what the fuck happened? RDR put this dude through the fucking ringer. Now, RDR and Adolfo Vieira are different fighters, man. They're different. They fought at a much different level. But at least Adolfo Vieira has something at like an elite level. He's an elite grappler. So, I mean, it's not like Bo's going in here against a fighter that doesn't have anything to offer. Paul Craig does have elite submissions, but outside of that, he doesn't have much at all. At least Adolfo Vieira has elite jiu-jitsu on the ground, a pretty good chin, and some pretty decent striking to go along with it. I mean, he just outstruck Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore kind of sucks, but he just outstruck Tresean Gore to a win. So, I mean, it's got to count for something. And honestly, from the stuff that I've seen from Bo Nickal, I'm not impressed at all. Like, this guy's striking looks terrible to me. I mean, I know he's young in his career, so I'm not saying he's got to be some miraculous striker at this point, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to take Bo for the pick, but fucking A, dude. Like, I kind of think Adolfo Vieira is a better striker. Maybe not the more dangerous striker than Bo, because Bo has like a big athleticism gap. He's much younger, probably got more of a durability, unless you hit him into the body. But I'm just saying, be careful with Bo. This isn't like some setup spot for Bo to be like, oh, they're just getting him an easy win. This is Adolfo Vieira. Like, Adolfo Vieira can fucking grapple, and his striking is not that bad. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm still gonna fucking take Bo. Fuck, dude. I fucking hate this dude. I'm gonna take him, but you'll see where it is on the confidence scale. Main card. We got Beneil Dariush taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. Beneil Dariush should win this fight. Honestly, I think he should win this fight, but I could see him getting knocked out. I could see him getting knocked out. I could see him getting hit with a big shot. Maybe that BSD didn't even intend to land. Like the way that BSD throws, I think his striking is kind of ass. Like, it's just ultra aggressive. It's just ultra aggressive where you have to respect it, because if you get hit with it, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, what was that? But it's loopy, it's sloppy, and as he gets tired, it gets even worse. So I have a lot of concerns for BSD in this matchup. But there's one thing that he has in this matchup that could be the ultimate difference maker is it's durability. Durability, and Dariush just doesn't have it. He never really has had it, but he's been able to win fights. So going into this fight against BSD, it's like, well, Dariush lost. He got knocked out by Saruki and got knocked out by Oliveira. Okay. And then he got knocked down by Moicano. So that's like a big red flag, Sorry, Moicano, but that's a big red flag. The thing is, like, BSD's not knocking out anybody except for a can in Gabriel Miranda with his fists. Like, I guess he landed a head kick against Matt Favola, but he's not knocking out anybody. This guy wants to grapple with you, and you're not going to out-grapple Beneil Dariush. You're just not going to do it. Like, it's not happening. So I'm going to take Beneil here, but that's merely on the fact that if he doesn't get knocked out, I feel like he should win. But he probably gets knocked out. So I'm not saying, Beneil is some just underdog that I feel amazingly confident in. But I do think he's the better fighter. I think he's the better fighter. I think stylistically, if BSD doesn't knock him out on the feet with some big punch, like, he's not out wrestling him. He's not out grappling him. He's not out striking him from range. Dariush is the minute winner here. I guess maybe if BSD can get some clinch strikes going and just drown him there, maybe get out cardio him or something. I don't know, but I'll take Dariush. Low confidence, though. Leon Edwards taking on Carlos Prates. I do think Leon Edwards could get some grappling going here, which would make, Carlos Prates could be like the trap of the week, but I just don't really see it, man. I just don't see it. I think Carlos Prates probably going to put the fucking pressure on this guy, and Leon Edwards might piss his pants, dude. He might piss his pants because you go back in his career, this dude is not fighting any good strikers. Any good strikers, man. Like, I guess the best striker you could say this guy faced was Kamaru Usman. I mean, maybe Vicente Luque back in the day, but he was, looking to grapple up Vicente there. And Vicente's like a very hittable guy as well. But Edwards might piss his pants, man. The first knee that Carlos Prates lands to the body, he might piss his pants, might shit his pants. So I'm going to take Carlos Prates here to get it done. If Leon Edwards doesn't elect to come out to this fight with a game plan of, I'm going to Marab you, or I'm going to fucking try to Aljamain Sterling you, take you down, get your back, and hold you there, I think he's losing. So give me Carlos Prates for the pick. Michael Morales taking on Sean Brady, another welterweight scrap. Gotta love it. And this one is very confusing for me as to, number one, who am I going to pick? But number two, why is this fight even happening? Sean Brady just beat Leon Edwards, who was the number one contender who had just lost the belt to Bilal Muhammad. So why would you why would you beat the number one contender and then face like the number 10 ranked fighter in the division? That doesn't make any sense. So right there is like red flags. Sean Brady's taking an unneeded risk, unnecessary risk, and it's a risk against a very dangerous guy in Michael Morales. If he was number one contender, just beat the number one contender, and then he fought fucking Neil Magny, I'd be like, okay, well, this guy just wants to fucking stay active, whatever. But he's facing the undefeated Ecuadorian, who's an absolute specimen for welterweight. And he's, 26? Same age as me. My birthday yesterday. Appreciate y'all. Always sick on my birthday, but same age as me, 26. 26. He's not 6 foot. They list him at 6 foot. He's probably 6'2", maybe 6'3". Built like a brick shithouse. I don't know how good Michael Morales' grappling game is, or at least I should say defensive grappling game is. But I trust that physicality is going to play a factor here. I'm gonna trust that it plays some type of factor here against the Sean Brady, who has had similar opponents to Michael Morales, being a Jake Matthews, being a Gilbert Burns, to where, his level of competition I don't think is that much better than what Michael Morales has faced. I would say, the Leon Edwards win is really good, but Leon had just gotten out wrestled and grapple fucked by Bilal the fight before, and Sean Brady's the better grappler out of the two. So I thought it was a great matchup for Sean. I'm going to take Michael Morales to get this one done, man. I'm going to take him to get this one done. I think the youth, the size advantage, the reach advantage, the physicality has to count for something, because Sean's got to get it down to the ground. So I'm going to take Michael Morales. It's not a confident pick, I could tell you that. You'll see it later, but give me Morales to get it done. Co-main event, Weili Zhang taking on Valentina Shevchenko. And this one is interesting to me because I think a lot of people are just, saying, Valentina's, she's the champion at 125. Weili's going up to 115. Valentina's going to be too big. I don't really see it that way. And I think this is a spot where Weili Zhang could make history, man. I think Weili Zhang is a special athlete, a special fighter that is continuously getting better. And honestly, I haven't seen any improvements from Valentina over the past 3 to 4 years in her game. It's the same game she's always had, which is stand at range, don't move, counter strike, and then maybe mix in a couple takedowns and just be smarter than a lot of these girls and just be better, quicker. But then as she got older, she couldn't really rely on that quickness. She couldn't really rely on the physicality. She had to start really grinding out some wins. She grinded out a win against Taila Santos. She was beating Alexa Grasso in a competitive fight and then made one mistake. Grasso made her pay for it. And then in the second fight, it's like, oh, well, Valentina will get it done this time, right? She's going to get it done against Grasso the second time. Not the case. I mean, she arguably should have won, but Alexa Grasso dropped her in that fight and also got to a very similar position that she did when she beat her in round 5 and was raining down heavy ground and pound in round 5 to a gassed out Valentina Shevchenko, to where one judge gave that a 10-8 for Alexa Grasso. Should it have been a 10-8? No. But she landed a ton of damage in round 5. And then in the third fight, people were saying Valentina's cooked. Alexa Grasso's going to get this one done. And they made Valentina an underdog to Alexa Grasso in the trilogy. And what happened? Valentina just said, fuck this. I'm not going to strike with this girl. I'm just going to take her down and sit in her guard. So she did that. And then she fights Manon Fiorot, and everyone's like, oh, Manon Fiorot is going to get this one done. Valentina, Manon Fiorot was always supposed to be champion. And what happened? Valentina won again based on fight IQ. It was 2-2 going into the 5th round, and it was a very close fight. What happened in that 5th round? Not a lot. So I'm pretty sure they just gave it to Valentina because she was the champion, and it's the kind of the, got to beat the champion to be the champion. You got to finish the champion to be the champion. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But my point here is Valentina Shevchenko was on a decline to where people thought she was completely cooked. And then because she won against Alexa Grasso in the trilogy by laying in her guard and barely beat Manon Fiorot, who also had a broken nose in that fight, now she's just going to beat one of the best women's MMA fighters of all time. Weili Zhang's one of the best MMA fighters of all time. Is she going to out-grapple Weili Zhang? She could maybe for periods of time, but she's not going to be able to just sit in her guard like she did to Alexa Grasso. I guarantee you that's not going to happen. On the feet, Valentina's very low volume. She doesn't really throw that much out there for the judges to judge. So, the striking could be close, and if anything, Weili Zhang's probably the more aggressive girl that has more finishing upside. And on the ground, or in the wrestling department, I think Weili Zhang is arguably the better wrestler. She's made so many improvements to her wrestling game to where she can get you down just based off of trips. She doesn't need to, body lock and pick you up and slam you. She doesn't need to blast double you. She's hitting a lot of trips on these girls, and that's an easy way to get takedowns, especially against a girl that throws a lot of kicks. In Valentina, she can catch those kicks and take advantage of that. And also, Weili Zhang is a very good back taker with good rear naked chokes and very good ground and pound. When she gets on top of you, her ground and pound is nasty. So, all of that to say, I'm going to take Weili Zhang. All that to say, I'm going to take Weili Zhang as the underdog. I think she should be a slight favorite here, honestly. I think she should be probably minus 120, minus 130, and she's sitting around plus 110. So I'm going to take Weili Zhang to get this one done. I could see a submission, man. I could see a submission or just, a competitive decision. But don't sleep on Weili Zhang's back takes, man. We've also seen Shevchenko get her back taken by Taila Santos. Obviously got it taken by Alexa Grasso. Weili Zhang's very good on the ground, and her back takes are nasty. She's got some good submissions. So give me Weili Zhang. Main event. I went really hard on that women's MMA fight. Main event, we got Islam Makhachev taking on Jack Della Maddalena. This is a very tough one for me to break down as well because, number one, I have the future ticket on JDM to be champion at the end of 2025. So obviously I want him to win. But if I look at this fight without that, there's a lot of things I can bring up. So number one, with JDM, I watched the Basil Hafez fight. I watched the Gilbert Burns fight. I watched the Bilal Muhammad fight. And all the grappling sequences that I've seen with JDM, it makes it very hard for me to think that he's not going to get submitted from Islam Makhachev because Islam is a dangerous grappler that has a wide arsenal of submission packages. But I also look at Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier, and I find it very hard to believe that Islam is just going to run through JDM. Because Islam did not run through Dustin Poirier in that fight. It was 2-2 going into the 5th round, and Islam hit that one takedown. I forget what it's called. We sweep the leg, and then he got on the Darce, and he finished him in round 5 with the Darce. Dustin Poirier is, 36, 37 years of age at that fight? He also went into the fight with a broken rib. He tore his ACL in the fight and broke his nose in the fight. And he's a guy that fought at featherweight. So those are two things that I could think of to where it's hard for me to back either guy here. But one guy is the underdog at plus 210, so it's a little bit tempting. My problem here with JDM is I think he's going to be able to survive some of these positions. But if he makes one mistake, the fight could be over. And if he's just trying to survive the situations or survive the positions, he's going to lose minutes. So I do think Islam should be the favorite, and that's why I'm going to take him for the pick. I think JDM can outbox him. I think JDM has the better cardio. I think JDM has good scrambles to where it would make Islam work and tire him out and could pull away in the fight. But I do think Islam should be the favorite, so I'm going to take him to win the fight. Kind of a cop-out, but I don't want my biases on Jack Della to seep into my pick or my breakdown here. So I do think Islam should be the favorite. He should win. But I'm hoping Jack Della gets it done. And who knows? I might have a little sprinkle, like a Jack Della decision or something like that. But give me Islam for the pick. And that means we can go into the least to most confident section of the video. Let's take a look. At number 14, we're going with Beneil Dariush, plus 163, dog. He's the better fighter, better grappler. BSD usually needs to grapple to win fights, but I don't see that he's going to have a lot of success with that. Benny's chin is obviously terrible, so that's why he's the least confident pick. Number 13 is Michael Morales. I don't know how good this guy's grappling is. I'm kind of taking a leap of faith on the upside with Michael Morales, but I do respect Sean Brady a lot with his grappling and his game planning and his overall mentality. So I'm not, super confident in Michael Morales. He's number 13. Number 12 is Bo Nickal. I don't think Bo Nickal is good. I have yet to see a fight where I'm impressed. So I think he wins, but that's kind of just based on what the hype is about him, to be honest. So I'm going to take Bo Nickal there at number 12. Number 11 is Weili Zhang. I think it could come down to a competitive decision. Weili's going up a weight class, so you don't love that. But I think she's going to win. I think she's going to be able to win the minutes. I think she can win moments. I think she could have the finish here against Valentina, but I'm going to take Weili at number 11. Can't really be that confident because it's fucking Valentina Shevchenko at the end of the day. Number 10 is Malcolm Wellmaker. He's got the nuclear option. If he doesn't knock him out in round one, I don't think he's going to fall apart, but I also don't think he's going to have as much success as the fight extends. So Wellmaker at number 10. Also got a lot of respect for Cody Haddon. Number 9, Chepe Mariscal. Won the first fight. I think he's going to win the second fight. You can't hold this guy down. I'd be surprised if Pat Sabatini is able to submit him because Chepe is a very good judoka and a very good jiu-jitsu player. I think Chepe's got better cardio, better pace, better heart, better grit, inflicts more damage. Give me Chepe at number 9. Number 8 is going to be Islam Makhachev. All right, right in the middle. I feel like he should win, but I think Jack does have the capabilities to go in there and pull off the upset. But I know Islam is one of the most special fighters we've ever seen. Should be number 1 pound for pound if he beats Jack Della Maddalena. And I think he's probably going to win, but I hope he doesn't, honestly. Number 8 is Islam. Number 7 is Gregory Robocop. Grappling edge should be huge if he chooses to take it. He's also got killer KO power. Very similar style to Apollo Costa. Robocop a little bit more stationary. And I just don't really think Kopylov has really beaten anybody that great. So give me Robocop at number 7. Number 6, Mateus Camilo taking on Borshchev. Camilo's much younger, better grappler. Hits hard as well. As long as he doesn't get drawn into these long, extended kickboxing exchanges with Borshchev and he doesn't gas out, I think he's going to be okay here. Give me number 6 is Camilo. Number 5 is Carlos Prates. As long as he can keep the fight on the feet, Edwards is going to piss his pants, probably get KO'd. Number 4, Aaron Blanchfield against Tracy Cortez. If the fight's on the feet, it's competitive. If it hits the ground, I think Aaron Blanchfield is going to win the fight on the ground. I think she's going to win the fight. And if it does hit the ground, she could finish. Honestly, she could finish. Tracy Cortez has been submitted before. I don't think Tracy has really grappled with a ton of good grapplers like in the UFC. Aaron Blanchfield has. So give me Aaron Blanchfield as number 4. Number 3 is Fatima Kline. Much younger, 15 years younger to be exact, than Angela Hill. I think she's got the striking to deal with Angela on the feet. On the ground, Fatima is going to be the much better grappler. She's also huge for the weight class. She's bigger than Aaron Blanchfield, who fights up a weight class. 5'6" for Fatima Kline. She's fast. She's got good hands. Mixes in her kicks nicely. Give me Fatima at number 3. Number 2, Kyle Daukas. She would get this one done. by any means necessary. KO, sub, decision. He can top time Gerald on top. He could submit him on the ground, could knock him out on the feet. As long as he doesn't get, gassed out and fall into a GM3 submission, I think he's all right here. So give me Kyle Daukas at number 2. And number 1 is going to be Susurkaev. No explanation needed there. He's minus 1,000. He should be able to knock this guy out in round 1. McConico is not durable. He's old. And Susurkaev seems like the guy the UFC loves. So give me Susurkaev at number 1. That's going to do it for the video. Appreciate y'all for watching. Like the video for me before you go. And we'll be back here very soon with some more content, battling through this sickness. Hit the like button for me, please. My voice is going to go out before the end of the week. I can guarantee you that. But, yeah, excited for this card. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, hey, John Picks.